This video is sponsored by Squarespace. They are the best all-in-one website platform to help you stand out and succeed online, but more on them later. Word on the street is that women just aren't as into watches as men are. When I look at my channel analytics, 93% of those subscribed to this channel are males. Shout out to the 7% of ladies currently watching, absolute legends. I have said it once and I will say it again. A watch has the potential to be the coolest thing that you own. It is a tiny wrist jewelry machine that attempts to measure the fourth dimension through analog technology and actually does a fairly good job at it. So I want more female viewers and I want to see more females wearing awesome watches. So here's a list of the best and coolest watches for women. Now, I should clarify, saying women's watches is a very contentious thing at the moment. It is far more in vogue to say, there should be no men's watches, there should be no women's watches, it's all unisex and genderless. And I get it. I really do get it, and I think there are times where this applies. But I think putting this label on watches usually just indicates who the target consumer is. Like, the 44mm Panerai is probably targeted towards a male with a larger wrist. It doesn't mean a woman can't buy it. That's just who the target demographic is. It's the same with a little Cartier Panther. It's made for women, but men look awesome in it too. It doesn't mean that men can't like these watches, and I'm really hoping this doesn't seem like a patronizing list of watches for women. These are just the watches I would personally curate for the ladies in my life, and no girl of mine, no gal pal of mine is going to be walking around in a bad watch. Okay, so people are going to hate this starting place, but stick with me, hear me out here. The Rolex Datejust is probably the most classic watch money can buy, and you will absolutely never regret buying one, especially if you don't want to get too deep into watches. You just want one quite nice watch. The Datejust is undefeated in this category. Super customizable, my personal recommendation would be a fluted bezel variation with the Jubilee bracelet. I'd go no diamonds, just plain old baton indices, or the Wimbledon dial. As for material choices, I would recommend stainless steel. It is the cheapest form, although that's not saying a lot. Okay, so maybe I'm a little bit biased when it comes to the Cartier Tank. I think it's the best. I think everyone should at least try one on. But full disclosure, I have this watch. This was my first ever nice watch, and there is a real reason why it is one of the most iconic watches ever made. Princess Diana wore this watch, Michelle Obama, Jackie Kennedy, freaking Muhammad Ali, who isn't a woman, but I think we can all agree that makes this watch so much cooler. Proportionally, it's freaking lovely, really beautiful wearing watch. The version I have was called the Cartier Tank Solo. It was the cheapest model available at the time, so a quartz movement, stainless steel case, but the new version is much cooler. So still with the bracelet, but with a solar beat movement. This isn't for diving or timing things incredibly precisely. It's a beautiful design that's easy to wear. It's easy to choose. Okay, something a little less mainstream, something for the thinking woman, the Nomos Metro 33. So they introduced these a couple of years ago, and it might be my favorite Nomos in the catalog right now. These are very minimal, Bauhaus, and proportionally fantastic. Usually I'd find 33mm a bit small for my tastes, but with the Nomos long lugs, it wears more like a 35mm, which is an underused case size. One of the big things that sets Nomos apart is their movements. They only use in-house calibers, and this one is housing the manual winding alpha caliber. I would argue that Nomos is producing the best value watches. The amount of watch you're getting for price you pay is insane. So this retails for £1,940 or about $2,000 USD, which is absolutely not cheap, but for the level of craftsmanship and original design, unheard of in the watch industry. So I've been on one with IWC lately. I absolutely love what they've been producing. I loved the Formula One movie as well, for anyone who is wondering. With the 35mm Ingenieur being a particular highlight of the year so far. The watch I'm choosing for this video, I don't think anyone would have expected from me. I don't think you guys would have seen this coming. But when I went to GPHG in 2024, IWC let me borrow a watch, and it was this one, the IWC Portofino automatic day and night 34 millimeters. I'll put some pictures of me wearing it right now. Incredibly elegant, beautifully done, genuinely so enjoyable to wear. If any one of my girlfriends asked me for a dress watch recommendation, this would for sure be coming up. Not that I've ever had any of my friends ask me for a dress watch recommendation, but if they do. Moving on, let's talk about the watchmaker's watchmaker, Jaeger-LeCoultre. So if you're not as deep down this watch thing, JLC or Jaeger-LeCoultre is one of the most well-respected and most well-thought-of brands in the industry. They supplied movements to top brands like Patek Philippe, most notably the caliber 920. They were the founders of the modern style of in-house watchmaking, being the first brand to bring all aspects of watchmaking under one roof, and they have incredibly beautiful designs that mimic no one. So there's the obvious choice with the JLC Reverso. But when I was thinking back of before I was into watches, when my husband used to drag me around to all the watch shops, scarcely did I like anything, but one of the watches that caught my eye was the JLC Rendezvous. I would recommend the 34 millimeter variation, and I wouldn't go for the diamond bezel for myself personally. Diamonds aren't my thing. I prefer something a bit more subdued. Beautiful watch. Not cheap though. That's why I don't own one. But I'll tell you what I do own. I own two really beautiful, awesome websites through Squarespace, who just so happen to be today's fabulous video sponsor. Ooh, I didn't love that transition. I should start grading my transitions. I would give that one a 4 out of 10. Squarespace deserves better. I feel like everyone knows who Squarespace is by this point, but for those of you who don't, Squarespace is the website for making websites. They have literally hundreds of professionally curated templates. All you have to do is find the one that speaks to you, plug in your information, and bam, gorgeous website. Was that still too hard and you want easier? You could use their Blueprint AI by just plugging in your basic industry information and the general vibe you are going for. And once again, bam, bespoke website that is still fully customizable. Then, once you have your gorgeous website, Squarespace helps it get found by new and returning customers with their SEO tools. So, search engines are more likely to bring your website to the top. They really are the one-stop shop for selling anything online. They help you sell products, give your customers so many payment options, and easy payment tools for you to get the money that you earned. There's a lot of reasons to love Squarespace. For me, it's how genuinely easy it is. Like, you can have a website that looks really freaking good with no web design experience. If this sounds like something you need in your life, head to squarespace.com/BritPierce for a free trial. And then when you're ready to launch, use my code, the BritPierce code, for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. They're a no-brainer. Go click that link. And thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Rolex again? Yes, but this one's for the sporty girls. Guys, girls, anyone watching this, anyone with great taste and wants to hear my recommendations. The Rolex Explorer 1 is arguably the ultimate go anywhere, do anything watch. I would personally recommend the 36 millimeters to most people. It's the original classic size, and it's just minimal perfection. All of the specifications for daily wear with 100 meters of water resistance, stainless steel case, but also available in two-tone. If I saw a woman wearing a Rolex Explorer, I would want to be her friend. I would find an excuse to talk to her because she's going to be a cool person. Controversial opinion, I kind of think the two-tone is cool. So a few years ago, Rolex introduced this in a stainless steel and gold. A lot of people disliked it and feel it's against the spirit of this watch. I kind of think it's cool looking. I think it makes it a little bit more flashy, a little bit more elevated and dressy, while still being incredibly capable. Okay, Omega. I've been going back and forth on whether I make an Omega video, a dedicated video to this. They have recently released a 30mm Aqua timer. They are doing this whole ad campaign of women going, shh. It makes me feel so many things. It feels slightly patronizing to me, but I can't tell if that's because I'm too deep into watches. Like, does anyone else care? Probably not. Does it speak to other people? Does this make other people want to buy these Omegas? It must do. But all I can do is speak for myself personally. This doesn't speak to me at all. This doesn't make me want to buy one of these. And I'm someone who's in the market for this exact size and style of watch. But I do like the Aqua Terra a lot. A bit like the Rolex Explorer, this is the go anywhere, do anything model of Omega. A lot of great size options, interesting design language. I'd say this is a lot more interesting than the Rolex, but a lot less wide-reaching. I don't think as many people would choose this over the Explorer, but shout out to the people who would. Let me know in the comments down below if you're one of those people. Moving on, Breitling have recently updated the superocean heritage line, adding a 36mm variation, and it is magic. So this really takes the proportions of the superocean heritage and shrinks it down for a smaller wrist size. Still has the same specifications with 200 meters of water resistance. It's still a self-winding movement, which is cool, but the movement isn't as exciting as the larger variations, with this housing the Breitling Caliber 10 rather than the new B31. I should say, this is still very expensive, retailing for £4,400 or about $5,000 USD. But honestly, it is worth it. If you are wanting to get a nice watch, a watch you're proud of and you genuinely love, it is worth investing some real money into. It's worth saving up for and getting something beautiful. It's something you're going to keep your whole life. I don't know, that's my opinion personally. I know not everyone agrees. Well, most people don't. My family think I'm a nut job, so. Well, if it isn't another watch that I personally own. But hear me out here. Okay, when Tudor gets it right, they really get it right. I always describe this as the dive watch that felt like it was made for me. So this has a 37mm case diameter, really faithful to mid-century dive watch size, design, proportions. It still has 200 meters of water resistance, more than anyone needs. And it's just a cool bit of kit. Now, if you were torn between the Breitling Superocean Heritage 36 and this, oh, that's a really tough choice. I love both of these. I'd say the Breitling feels more elevated with their use of polishing and overall feels a bit flashier, whereas the Black Bay 54 feels much more subdued, matte bezel, mostly brushed surfaces. The Breitling feels more expensive on wrist, but the Tudor has a better movement with the COSC certified MT5400. Also, Tudor recently added this model, so it's the same watch, just a little bit more blinged up, lots of polishing, if you did want something that felt a little bit more elevated. Okay, so these next three models are for really rich people. If you're thinking, I just have so much money, how am I going to spend it all? Let me help you, baby. First, we enter the holy trinity of watchmaking, the AP Royal Oak. Now, AP takes a lot of flack for relying heavily on the popularity of the Royal Oak, which is true, but that doesn't make it any less cool. So, depending on your budget, the introductory recommendation from me would be the 34mm stainless steel variation. The 34mm are self-winding, opposed to the 33, which are quartz, if that's something you care about. And in my humble opinion, the AP Royal Oak has the most beautiful watch bracelet in the world. Love it. If you've got a little bit more money burning a hole through your pocket, if that was just a little bit too cheap for you, well, have a look at this. Oh yeah, so still the 34mm, but in rose gold with a pink dial. It's adorable. I love it. I can't afford it in my wildest dreams, so if you can afford it, buy it for me. I wish I could. Moving on, entering Richard Mille land, and this is when you have more money than sense. Richard Mille is one of the most contentious brands in the watch hobby. I've been a pretty shameless defender of RM for a while now. I think they get more hate than they deserve, and if you're actually into engineering, interesting materials, great watchmaking, even if the tastes aren't to your preferences, you still have to respect some of the things they're doing, but that's neither here nor there. If I had some real money, I'd be getting this. The RM 0703 Marshmallow from the Bon Bon collection. It's adorable, it's so different. If I won the lottery, I wouldn't tell anyone, but there would be signs. Last but not least, this might be one of my favorite watches of all time, a neo-vintage 90s, 2000s Patek Philippe Aquanaut. So these older models were 36mm, which is the perfect size for this. I'd go stainless steel because I'm a peasant who doesn't dream big enough, but these are also available in yellow gold, which look sick. I can't tell you how cool of a watch choice this is. Oh, I wish I could afford one. Oh no, my camera died. Some quick honorable mentions. The Bulgari Serpenti. So awesome. These are really growing on me as time goes on. The Cartier Ballon Bleu and the Tag Heuer Aqua Racer 200. This watch really isn't talked about as much as it should be. Anyways, guys, that's an exhaustive list of watches for cool girls. Did I miss anything big? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring this video, and thank you for your viewership. And now, Pope tier patrons. Oh yeah, get their names on the screen. So people tell me in the comment section all the time, why does your camera die so much? I think these videos take longer than people think they do. For me at least, I don't know, I just work very slowly. I have so many thoughts. That's why I extra appreciate the patrons who make this all worth my time. Thank you so much to all tier patrons, but the biggest special thank you, the biggest thank you ever to the names on the screen right now. They're the Pope tier patrons. You're so amazing. I hope you keep enjoying my channel. And even if you don't enjoy what we're doing here anymore, I hope you keep enjoying watches forever because they're fantastic. And so are you. Okay. Thanks, guys.